privileged, scared to be standing here on the stage today, and thank Forever so much for giving us the opportunity. So, I'd like to take you back to 2008. I was mum to a 11-year-old boy, 14 and 16-year-old girls, and I had a very stressed husband. I've got to admit that from the outside, actually, I think our life looked quite nice. We had a beautiful home, 2 lovely cars on the drive, holidays twice a year, and 3 children at private school. But actually, what was going on behind the scenes was completely different. I'm not saying that to impress you, just to impress upon you, sometimes what you see is not always the truth. We had absolutely no time. And we had accumulated a huge amount of debt. And we were actually struggling to keep our heads above water. And we just thought, there must be a different way. And that's when we found Forever.
Good afternoon. A little bit about me. I was a director with a PLC company down in London. I was actually a development director looking after a development program that was responsible for delivering about 40 to 50 new bars, restaurants, and nightclubs across much of the UK and mainland Spain. So I loved what I did, but it obviously came at a cost. We had a lovely lifestyle, but what I found was that I was combining long hours with very long commutes. We lived in Shrewsbury, and my commute to the office was about 350 miles round trip. I was doing that daily. I was either going to London, I was going up down to Brighton, going up to Aberdeen, flying across to Madrid. It was really full on. But as I said, this business gave us, I can't say it's a lovely lifestyle, but it gave us a life. And I was looking for something different, but I didn't know quite what. And I wasn't a particularly nice person either. I have to admit it. I was known as a bit of a Rottweiler at work. I was always barking, I was always biting, I was continually tired, I was naggy, I was always on a short fuse. And the best day of my week was Friday when I was winding down, but I was winding back again on Sunday, and I'm sure I'm not unique on that basis. But we were motivated for change, and we wanted something different. We didn't know when it was going to come, in what form it was going to take, and how it would present itself. But my darling wife came into the office, my office at home, and she said, "Tone, we're going to start a business." And I thought, yeah, whatever. Doing what? She said, well, we're going to work alongside a company called Forever Living Products. Never heard of them, not interested. And by the way, we are actually going to be selling aloe vera. And at that point, I think I just walked out of the room. I secretly thought she was trying to kill me because I was already extremely stressed, and just something else was going to push me right over the edge. You see, I felt in my little world that I was so important, I was always busy, and I had an ego that would actually fill this room. So Michelle ignored me. She started the journey. I was kicking and screaming, but she carried on, and she led the way, and I just simply watched.
So how did I find Forever? Well, this is where it all started. Yeah, I found a card in a toilet. I have to say, it's a shame I wasn't approached by a good friend. I didn't attend a product launch. I didn't fall in love with the products. I didn't even know Forever existed. And I didn't know that you could drink aloe vera. So I knew nothing. I'll be forever grateful to Christian Hickson Booth, who's in the room today, my sponsor, who left that card in that toilet. Now, with a huge desire to make some changes, and I was told just to get on with it, that's exactly what I did. I started to use the products and love the products. I started to tentatively talk to people about the business. Not very well, I have to admit, but I was hugely supported by my sponsor, Christian, and by her upline manager, Claire Baradell. And within 3 months, I hit the position of supervisor. And I thought I'd made it. Big mistake, I took my foot off the pedal. For quite some time, actually. I took my foot off the pedal, and I was no racehorse. And in February 2010, yes, that's 2 years later, I made a decision. You know what? Enough was enough. I couldn't stay at supervisor any longer. I've been watching too many people go up and down on this stage. And I just said, I am going to do whatever it takes to get to manager. And you know, I said that to myself in the mirror in my bathroom, sometimes with tears down my face. I will do whatever it takes. Failure is just not an option. With a lot of help and guidance and patience from Claire and Paul Baradell, they helped me set up a weekly home business presentation. Slowly, momentum started to build. Now, bear in mind, I had a really grumpy, stressed husband.
Yeah. Most of you will know Paul and Claire Baradell. We'll just put Paul to one side at the moment. And I love Claire to bits, but she suggested to Michelle that we should do a home business presentation. Now, I'm already a stressed Rottweiler. I didn't want to be in the business, and I wasn't particularly still a very nice person. But when I used to come home from work, I used to dread a Thursday night because that was BP night. And when I used to come home from work, my commute would have to end about 300 or 400 meters away from the house because I couldn't get my car on the drive. So in those days, you carried a briefcase to work because you were really important. And so I'd have to trundle my way back home, carrying my briefcase. And as I approached home, it was like there was a residential rave going on in our house because the fabric of the house was vibrating. And I could hear this noise, and I just thought, oh my God, what is going on? So as I opened the back door, bearing in mind I've been on the road for about 13, 14 hours, and it used to be that all the time, by the way, I'd open the back door and I'd see this sea of happy, smiling people. And those people that do that sort of walk that isn't a walk, but it's a dance, and a dance that isn't quite a walk, and they're going around my kitchen, they've got their shoes on my feet, you know, it's just, what is going on here? And then the straw that broke the camel's back for me with OCD was these people had rearranged my house. Now, at that point, I lost eye contact with most people in the room. I couldn't stand looking at people. Michelle had to escort me through the house. And she said to me as she threw me upstairs, go upstairs, sit there, be quiet, and if you can't be quiet, go back to work.
Yeah, definitely.
So being the person I am, I went back to work. But I must admit, regrettably, that was the best decision that we had made when we built our business. It was the catalyst to see our business really, really grow.
He's so right, because I was right, by the way. The team started to grow. The momentum started to grow. You couldn't stop it. And this growth was so exciting. The legacy group, as we knew it, was in its early infancy, but we could see leaders emerging within the team, and I can tell you the energy was just electric, absolutely electric. So within 10 months of me making that big decision that enough was enough, we went manager. And I was at this point earning double my NHS salary. So I swapped my NHS office that you saw earlier for this office.
And it was at this point that I started to get a little bit interested in what was going on. And it was because there were a few checks starting to fall in, and I was starting to have the opportunity of looking at those. But it's like everything else. When you do get to manager, I think it's almost the point where you've done your apprenticeship. And what we saw straight away was that we'd got the basis of a good, solid structure. Now, for me to get out of London personally, we had to make some big changes. Forever is very much a stepping stone business, and we took steps in the right direction. But what we decided to do was to start to expand our network, and this is what happened. We qualified. We had the first opportunity of traveling with Forever. We went to Budapest to the European Rally, and that was an immediate game changer from my point of view. It just opened the whole business up to me on a personal level. We became senior managers. We had Forever to drive, but it was CarPlay then, and we achieved level 1 and level 2. We were 100 Cub qualifiers, and then we qualified also for Global Rally. We started to travel to Hawaii, London, Singapore, South Africa, and Dubai. We actually qualified for Chairman's Bonus Check on 3 occasions. We had level 1 twice and level 1+1 on 1 occasion. And we now have 21 downline managers in our business, 2 of which are our daughters, Jess and Victoria. Is it still me? Oh, Lord. Oh, yes. Important. So within 18 months of getting to manager, I was able to walk away from London.
Yay!
Thanks to this lady and the team.
So for me, it's always been about the emotional connection. It's great to see the achievements, and we are so thankful to Forever for those. But you know, the emotional connection is the thing that drove me. I'm incredibly proud of the team that we have and the achievements that they've had. There is absolutely nothing more rewarding than seeing other people achieve. So what has Forever really given us on that emotional level? Well, I'm going to take you through what I call my own little cycle. We all recognise a cycle as the business that we have in our business presentation. This is my little cycle. The first one is self-development. If this isn't self-development, tell me what isn't. This is it. But, you know, I have had so many times that I have cried before I've had to be filmed. There's so many times I've stuttered. I've gone blank a million times. But you know what? People have had to be very, very patient with me too. But what it has done, it's really made me such a strong person. And I do believe that everything that we've learned, I've passed on to my children, and we've learned so many lessons as a family, something that we would never have had the opportunity if we hadn't had Forever. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Cars are not my motivation. However, I love Millie, my Mini, and for the last 6 years, we've been able to drive a car courtesy of Forever. Now, it may have taken 11 years. Tony talked about the financial freedom that we were looking for. It is a stepping stone business, and we have had to make some huge changes along the way. But you know what? We now have total peace of mind. We have absolutely no debt now. And you can see there that picture. Those were our credit cards. They are ours. We kept them just as a memento. We don't have any credit cards. We don't have any debt. And Forever has completely and totally changed our lives. Now, we're not quite ready to draw a pension yet, but we know that we have the best pension ever. We have Forever. We have the opportunity to build it to whatever level we choose. And also, as Tony said, we've travelled the world. We have been all over the world. At the age of 48, it was my first long-haul flight to Hawaii with Forever. Now, just imagine that, okay? Hawaii. I had to pinch myself when I was on that beach. And at that point, that was when we collected our first Chairman's Bonus Check. But since then, we've travelled to Singapore, we've been to South Africa, Dubai, just to name a few. Now, it's not just about the amazing trips we get with Forever. The income has also allowed us to create some amazing travel experiences with our children. And that is just priceless, you know, being able to take them and create so many special family memories. So this picture here, Mr. Rottweiler here, turned into Mr. Twinkletoes, because this picture just demonstrates him dancing on one of our family holidays that we've had recently, because that's what Forever's given us. But do you know what? Time. Our time is our own. If we want to go to the beach because we see the forecast is sunny, we can down tools, rearrange our day, and we can go to the beach. When we get to the beach, it's usually deserted because everybody else is at work. We're really blessed to be able to do that. We're prepared to work really hard when we need to in the times and the pockets of times that we do. But you know, it's flexibility. Now, the other thing is, the time has been priceless for me personally. 4 years ago, my dad passed away. I had so much time with him throughout that illness. I was there with him right up until the end. And now I've got an incredibly lonely mum who needs my help and needs my time. And I can give her that time. It really is priceless knowing that you have the ability to create something that gives you time with people who are not going to always be here. But here's my reason why, right there in the middle. You know, it's always been about my family. I've always wanted to leave a legacy. I've always wanted to leave something that would outlive us. We live in a world of uncertainty, I'm sure you'd all agree. And you know, having an ability to be able to create something that will live on in our children when we're no longer here, you know, is just incredible. So our life is totally unrecognizable now to the life that we had 11 years, short 11 years ago. I just want to thank my beautiful children, Jess, Tori and Max, for all the love and happiness that they have brought into our lives. I also need to thank Rex for his vision, courage and determination in creating the Forever opportunity. I'd like to thank my mentors, Claire and Paul Baradell, and the absolutely amazing Legacy Group for their vision, their courage and their determination.
And I would like to thank Michelle for her vision, her courage and her determination.
You can do it.
Hold on.
No.
For changing my life, not changing my life, but saving my life. That's important.
I am. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay.
I'm Tony Beardmore.
I'm Michelle Beardmore.
We are
and
forever.
together, we are forever.